I've gone very heavy risk on for a long time in the cryptocurrency markets. The crypto content creation thing, it's a business. So there's a lot of different ways that makes money. It's everything happening with artificial intelligence right now. Go out and start a damn business, man.
Focus on hitting your goals in every area of your business. Remember, the universe rewards the bold. A leader has to take the risks.
Hey, Lark, how you doing, man?
There we go. Hey, how's it going?
All right, it's going great, man. Feeling good, excited.
Looking great. Where are you located? That's a nice view out the back.
I am, this is the front of my house. A little windy today, but yeah, this is the front of my house here, Rancho Cucamonga, California.
Cool. Were you far away from the fires that were happening?
Yeah. Luckily, I was, I'm about 50 miles away. I'm not even near it, but my power went out like 4 times this last week.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, because every time the winds start coming, so California's getting crazy winds. So, when all the winds come, they shut off the power. So just in case one of the lines go down or something like that, it's not going to cause another fire. So that's kind of where we're at.
Nice.
So what about you, man? Where are you located?
I am located in Dubai right now. I've moved to Dubai recently.
Okay. All right.
So
you must be a crypto investor.
Oh, yeah, of course. Absolutely. Everybody's here, man. It's definitely a big scene right now.
Yeah.
100% out here.
Wow. Okay. All right. So explain to me why Dubai. Why do you want to live in Dubai? And how does that correlate with being a crypto investor?
So living in Dubai, there's a lot of reasons why I went to Dubai. It's not just as simple as, no taxes, right? Okay, that's great. Big incentive, obviously. But in terms of the industry I work in, everything's happening here. This is the global epicenter, basically, right now for the cryptocurrency markets. That may shift over the United States pretty soon with the new administration. But certainly right now, most major companies have their offices here. There's obviously a lot of incentives for people to come here. There's clear regulations, all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely a good place to be from that perspective. But there was a lot more reasons than that for us to move to Dubai. For us, we were living in New Zealand before, so we didn't actually have any family in New Zealand anymore. My mom had moved away a few years ago, so it was just me and my wife and the kids. And anytime I wanted to go see family, it's 30 hours, and that's 3 planes, 2 airports, 30 hours travel time. It's just brutal for everybody. So we thought, you know what, let's move somewhere a bit closer, somewhere that's friendly to what we're doing and where we can increase our wealth a bit. And it's just a pretty cool place to be for a variety of reasons. Language wise, we want our kids to speak Russian. My wife's Russian, so this is actually a very great place for that. Huge amount of Russians here. A lot of Russians spoken in the streets and the playgrounds. So it's a pretty neat place to be.
So a lot of Russians in Dubai.
Oh yeah, crazy amount. A lot of they've been coming here for years, but obviously once the war started, a lot more of them came here. Actually, surprisingly, some obviously came from Russia, but a lot of them actually left Europe and came here. So Russians who were living in Europe at the time came here for a variety of reasons. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting place to buy.
So what keeps you up at night, man? I mean, is it the fear of losing it all, or is it the fear of missing out?
Depends on the day, I guess. I don't think the fear of missing out generally is something that keeps me up at night. I don't know. I guess I've taken enough off the table to not deeply fear losing it all, but certainly I've gone very heavy risk on for a long time in the cryptocurrency markets, and it's getting to market stage wise, in my opinion, the time when it's starting to move in the opposite direction. It's time to go from heavy risk on to start thinking about, okay, let's start moving into a risk off territory. That doesn't mean that there won't be things to still invest in and early place to make. There's so many new things coming out with AI agents and new meme coins and new networks launching. There's always opportunities to get into something in the market. But in terms of my broader approach to my cryptocurrency investments, I think it's time to flip the script here a bit and look at just continuing to reduce risk and reduce positions in the cryptocurrency market throughout 2025.
What does that mean? I mean, when you talk about, turning off or risk off, what does that exactly mean?
Sure. So that means largely just selling cryptocurrencies. So in 2022, 2023, 2024, it was all about buying more, continuing to build those positions. And there was obviously sometimes take profits. There were certain narratives that pumped and certain coins that pumped, and you had the opportunity to take profits on those in those situations. But throughout 2025, the general plan is just keep taking money out. No, that's
so
not
are you just getting heavy in cash? Is that kind of what you're doing?
Well, that'll be the long-term plan. By the end of the year, it'll be heavy in cash from the cryptocurrency investments. Now, I got to make a very clear delineation here because I'm not selling the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin, I'm happy to ride. It's not a problem. I can hold Bitcoin for another 10 years, 15 years. I don't mind. I don't mind the volatility. It's fine. I like having it.
When did you start buying Bitcoin?
2017.
2017. So what was Bitcoin trading at back then?
The first time that I bought Bitcoin, it was trading somewhere around $3,000 approximately. So,
all right. So,
I didn't buy that much back then to make it, super interesting these days. I got a lot more over the next few years. But
why didn't you buy? I mean, what like when it was 3,000, why, like what was going through your mind? I mean, were you a different type of investor back then? Like,
I did buy Bitcoin back then, obviously, but my net worth at the time was around $15,000 or something like that, so you can only buy so much Bitcoin at that level. Right. So, it was more just a question of that's what I could afford to buy at the time. And so I got into some different altcoins and stuff like that as well. And, those had variable results, let's say, but the first bull market cycle, I got in around July of 2017. I made some money, started doing the content creation thing and affiliate marketing and stuff like that. And that sort of provided a new venues for income, right? But my cryptocurrency portfolio just very directly went from, just about $10,000 invested up into the sort of mid 6-figure range by the end of that market cycle. Now, I didn't take anything off the table. I thought, we're going to keep going. And a lot of those coins went down pretty bad. The majority of them didn't actually end up surviving the 2018, 2019 bear market. It's quite funny, actually. There was a moment right around the peak of the market, and I had been investing in this coin called Icon. It was going to be the Ethereum of South Korea, very hot coin at the time. And I'd put like $2,000 in. It was up to like $10,000. And I was telling my dad, I made like $10,000 today. He said, "Did you sell?" I said, "No." He said, "Then you ain't made shit." Wise words, Dad.
Yeah, your
Wise
dad's
words.
a smart man. So what was the worst trade you made? Like
overall throughout the years, gosh darn, there's been a few. There's certainly been coins that I'd say I took lower positions on, a few $1,000s or something like that. And they've just basically gone to zero. So there's a variety of those. But I think overall, one of the ones that I lost probably the most money on in the shortest amount of time in the most spectacular fashion was the coin called Luna back in 2022. It's interesting because in the end, I didn't actually lose that much actual money in terms of the capital that I invested, but I lost a lot of money that I didn't sell. So I invested, I can't remember how much it was, but the position ended up being a 6-figure position. And it was, the entry price was $5 or $6 or something like that. It was up to like $100, right? And so it was significant. And the collapse started happening on this coin. There were certain mechanisms regarding a stable coin, so a dollar denominated coin, that basically caused a giant bank run on the entire cryptocurrency. So that thing dropped precipitously. Within a few days, it just kept going down. It's really one for the record books. Now, I was watching the charts very closely and thought, okay, how bad is this going to get? Are the mechanisms actually going to work that will allow people to redeem the stable coins versus the token? And will it actually work? Will they actually be able to shore this thing up? And when the price got down to around my break-even point, I exited. So I left, I lost a lot of, quote unquote, lost a lot of money, but it wasn't really mine in the first place. But where I did lose a bit of money was that I had money in their stable coin, which depegged. So it was no longer worth $1. It ended up going down very bad. Again, this is, a very significant sized position, mid 7 figures again. And so this went down from being worth $1 to being worth like 30, 40 cents or something like that within a day. And then I thought, well, crap, there's going to be a bounce at some point. At some point, there's going to be a bounce. There was a bounce, and I got out around like 82 cents or something like that. So it's a total of 18% loss, but a significant number. I was slightly mitigated by having earned interest on it, but still just an absolute wild ride. Something that only happens in crypto, I swear. Just wild things.
I mean, so people just, I mean, they equate it to just, let's be honest. I mean, meme coins, they equate it to basically just gambling, so how do you differentiate? All right, we're this is Vegas and this is a meme coin. Like, for example, Trump just came out with a meme coin. I mean, like, what do you do with something like that? I mean, some guy made $150 million.
Yeah, people made a lot of money on these things. It is definitely a lot of speculation. And look, there's some very strong delineations that you have to make in the cryptocurrency market. You have Bitcoin, right? And there's its own narrative, digital gold, whatever. We have all these different smart contract platforms like Ethereum and Solana, and they have giant ecosystems built around them, and they have real value and real demand for their tokens and real economic models. Okay. There are some other things that are like exchanges. So decentralized exchanges, and they have tokens attached to them. You stake their tokens. You might get some kind of trading fee rewards back. So there are things with real economic models. And then there are meme coins, which have no inherent value. Okay. They are just trading purely on hype, speculation, attention. And whether we're talking about the Trump meme coin, which essentially Donald Trump, basically the most famous person in the world's biggest cryptocurrency influencer at this point, launched his own meme coin. It's soared straight to a valuation of around, I think, $75 billion fully diluted valuation, but only 20% of the supply is currently circulating. So it's maybe $15 billion total circulating market cap of actual coins in the market. It's corrected a bit since then, but absolutely wild ride for anybody who was not sleeping and got in. I woke up, was sleeping through that, woke up, and well, I've already missed the majority of that move. Gosh darn. But it's a crazy space.
What do you tell somebody like that? I mean, are the meme coins just basically pump and dump? I mean, is there like a meme coin like Trump? Is it basically like, all right, if you didn't get in the beginning, there's really no sense in getting in now because it already pumped? Is that kind of the thoughts? I mean, kind of educate us that don't know a lot about meme coins. Educate us.
Sure.
Like, is that, like, let's use Trump as an example. Is that meme coin dead now? Pretty much?
Oh, absolutely not. Not even close.
Okay.
Not even close. No. This is the problem. There's so many meme coins out there. At the height of meme coin mania, which is a few months ago, and it'll probably come back raging again, there was something like 50,000 new meme coins being created a day. Now, 99.9% of those never got beyond a valuation of $10,000, let's say. But a few do take off for one reason or another. There was Mudang, which is like this baby hippo in Thailand. For some reason, that went to hundreds of millions of dollars. There was Peanut, this dead squirrel that the New York government killed. That went to billions of dollars. And so there are these outlier cases of coins that, for one reason or another, just go. And then big centralized exchanges list them. They get lots of liquidity. They get lots of on-chain holders. And for some reason or another, some kind of community forms around them. Now, long term, most of these things are absolutely going to go to zero. It doesn't mean that they're just straight up, one pump, one dump, and they're done. They'll have long trading histories. They'll go on for years, some of these things. The question is, which ones can actually find staying power? And we have some that do have staying power. Dogecoin has been in the market for, must be around 10 years by now. Hasn't gone anywhere. Still just there, being a picture of a dog that's worth $70 billion or $60 billion, what it's worth today. So that's got staying power. It's got a lot of people who hold it. It's got a lot of exchange listings, and people like it. So it sticks around. There's a few other meme coins out there that have some sort of relative value. But remember, it all is a question of attention. And with massive dilution coming into meme coins, the attention and the money, it's harder to collate around one particular idea. Now, Trump coin, it's crazy. The president of the United States launched a meme coin. Batshit crazy. It's so nuts. Here's the thing. 20% of it's out now. In 3 months, it starts vesting. And over the course of the rest of his presidency, a 3-year unlock period, the rest of those coins will be unleashed. So you have to understand the attention game, that after Trump is out of office, the future of the Trump meme coin is pretty dismal. Over the next 4 years, while Trump is in office, there's some real potential there. It's certainly far, far from dead. And I think it will be one of those coins that, yeah, it's a bit late now. It's worth whatever, $10 billion today, $15 billion today, whatever it's worth. How much upside's left in that? How much value truly is there in the Trump brand? Can he bring it up to $100 billion at some point? I wouldn't be shocked. What's insane is that this coin, the Trump meme coin, has single-handedly, I think it's done about a 6 or 7x to his net worth. So he had 7 billion before, and he's got, 50 billion now. Yeah, it's crazy.
Absolutely crazy. And so when you look at, I mean, obviously you're a little bit, bearish on the crypto market in a way, because you said you're starting to sell. What's your main thinking? Like, do you think that there's going to be a bubble that's going to pop pretty, drastically this year? Give me some more insight on that.
Yeah. So realistically, the bull market's already been going for about 2 years for crypto. Now, the question is, how long can equity bull markets keep going? Because crypto and equity markets are largely intertwined, because the same forces that largely drive equity markets drive cryptocurrency markets as well. And I think we're at a very exciting time with artificial intelligence and the whole narrative that's pushing right now in the equity markets. We see global liquidity. Most analysts are predicting that global liquidity will continue to increase throughout 2025, but will likely contract significantly in 2026. Now, that could be wrong. That's a year out prediction. Who knows, right? Trump wants a weaker dollar. Weaker dollar also tends to be pretty good for risk assets. So that's your crypto, your tech stocks, all that kind of stuff. So my thought here is that we've been going on for quite a long time now. The final phases of the bull market are coming in, which as more greed and more euphoria comes in, and we're talking anywhere between 4 months and 12 months left probably in the cryptocurrency market cycle. Not saying it's going to end tomorrow, but it's probably not going to go on for another 5 years of up only. There will be another massive unwind of leverage and all these things as liquidity gets pulled out of the system, because it always does, because liquidity runs in cycles, right? And if you understand that liquidity runs in cycles and that all these things, we are not immune to macro in crypto. Crypto just trades as a sort of high beta play to what's going on in the macro world and stock markets. I kind of look at it like this. You have like the S&P 500 at the top, right? And that's sort of the slowest moving, most reliable, safest thing you'd invest in. And beyond that, you've got, let's say, tech stocks, right? And tech stocks kind of generally, I know there's some that are in there, but largely see those trading as a bit of a beta. So when the index is doing good, tech stocks tend to be doing pretty good. Crypto tends to trade as a beta once again. So when tech stocks are doing good, Bitcoin does good. When Bitcoin's doing good, the rest of crypto tends to do pretty good. When the rest of crypto tends to do pretty good, meme coins tend to do pretty good, and on down the line into NFTs and all that kind of stuff. So as long as we have more money coming to the system via liquidity. Now, how that comes into the system, there's a variety of ways. We already see China printing gargantuan sums of money. They actually let us out of the liquidity bear market in late 2022. China started injecting money. China's been injecting money relentlessly, trying to kickstart their economy. Big question, though, is what the Fed's going to do. We are currently, at the time of recording this video, we are seeing the repo market. So overnight repo markets, their pools are getting drained very fast. And that's going to need to be topped up. That means there needs to be some kind of mechanism for the Fed to inject a lot of liquidity into that, essentially. It's not going to be called money printing, but it's going to be some form of easing, let's say, because it's going to need to be refilled. That then brings more liquidity into the system, more liquidity, get some lower rates later this year. All this stuff works together for a good continuation in 2025. But as the markets continue towards their inevitable peak, you want to be reducing risk, not taking more risk. The time to take more risk was last year and in 2023. The time to reduce risk, which means starting to look at exiting positions, is going to be in 2025, because here's the deal with cryptocurrencies. When the bear market comes, this market sells off the absolute hardest. Now, I'm going to keep my Bitcoin because I understand the risk reward of that, okay? But everything else, and I invest in a lot of different alternative coins, everything else has to be sold, because most of these things are going to go down 99% in the next bear market. And the good ones, if you hold a really good one, it's only going to go down 85 or 90% from its all-time highs, because this is what happens every bear market. And people are going to tell you it's going to be different this time because of X, Y, and Z and the ETFs that are coming. And that's all very bullish. But guess what? People can sell ETFs too. Just because it brings liquidity in doesn't mean it can't take liquidity out.
And so aside from Bitcoin, or is there any other major, more reputable cryptocurrencies that you like?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of great ones. Ethereum, of course, a very solid cryptocurrency. It's, I think, been having a bit of a existential crisis recently in terms of the direction that it's going. That's a bit of a different story, perhaps. Solana is definitely one that is getting huge attention, huge growth, huge adoption. So that's one that's going to be getting an ETF likely very soon as well. So these ones are really great. I think they've got huge potential and a lot of mind share behind them. A lot of people who are very excited about them. They do very well in the market. But there's a lot of great cryptocurrencies out there. We go on and down the list, things like Avalanche, which is a competitor to Ethereum and competitor to Solana, and it's got great adoption metrics and all these kind of things. So there's a lot of interesting coins out there, a lot of interesting networks out there. And a lot of my portfolio is in blockchains. I dabble in meme coins and all that kind of stuff. We've got Fart Coin. Have you heard about this? We got Fart Coin now.
I haven't heard.
Oh yeah, it's worth $2 billion. It's worth $2 billion.
Absolutely. I know. I think there are so many crypto billionaires now that are just like totally anonymous, and they don't even know what to do with their money. So they're like, just throw $1 million in Fart Coin and see what happens. And then, maybe that $1 million gets people excited, right? And then people jump in, and then it pumps, right? I mean, that's probably maybe a little bit of what happens. What do you, what's your take on that?
To some extent, absolutely. The crypto markets in 2025 are a very fascinating place because there is so much ability now to track everything going on. You can't just do things on the blockchain and not have it be seen. A lot of these big whale wallets are tracked, right? So we know what they're buying. We know when they're buying it, and people follow those. And this is exactly the thing. You go, you're a whale, you go and buy $1 million worth of something. Other people see that. They say, that guy bought that thing. Maybe I should pay attention. He's bought 5 big things before that did really well. Maybe this will be the next one. So that information is definitely out there and does get paid attention to. And yes, there is so much money in the cryptocurrency market. I think the average person really has no idea how much money some of these anonymous on-chain whales have. It's truly crazy. And they're just out there living their lives. Some of these guys are here in Dubai, and you see them every once in a while. It's just, whoa, there's money out there, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's definitely big money out there. And do you ever grapple with the fact that there's such a, there's such a divide, right, in the world, right? Starting to, the middle class is just shrinking and shrinking. More and more people can afford things. And then there's this whole other class. People are getting really, really rich right now. And so, how do you feel about that?
Well, wealth inequality has always existed, and it's always going to exist to some extent. Maybe we'll have some kind of diminishment of that when we move into some kind of artificial general intelligence, robot dominated world where nobody has jobs because the computers have taken them all and the robots have taken them all. But that's a bigger topic than we have for today's podcast.
Isn't that Elon Musk? He talks about universal basic income, right? At some point in time, there's got to be a place for people to, there's got to be a mechanism that actually feeds people, right? Because again, it really is a thing. I use ChatGPT like my personal writer, assistant, therapist, doctor, attorney. It's wild, man. I know you probably use it. You're a tech savvy guy, so I'm sure you use it too. It's wild.
All the time. It's great.
Crazy. And they just came out with tasks. So it's like, you just tell it, so now it just shoots me an email on everything that I want to be reminded of every single day. And I don't have, so I literally have an assistant for $20 a month. It's wild.
It's absolutely nuts. And here's one thing I want to say too about the sort of wealth divide. When I came into crypto, I didn't have very much money. It was the first thing I ever really invested in. And I see every day. Now, look, it's obviously exceptional circumstances. Not everybody's going to make it. Most people make all the classical mistakes, et cetera, et cetera. If you're somebody who's got a little bit of money, even a few $1,000s, you can come into the cryptocurrency markets. And if you actually put in the time and effort, which that's the caveat, because most people don't want to put in the time and effort. They want to go watch a YouTube video for 5 minutes, hear somebody mention something for 30 seconds, go put all their money in it and hope for the best. They want to go and buy the newest meme coin that they see being shilled on Twitter and hope for the best. But if you actually put your time and effort in, you're tracking whale wallets, you're doing the research, you're in the Telegram groups, you're in the Discord groups, okay, you're following the smart money people, you have the potential right now to make a lot of money from that very little bit of money. So here's the thing with wealth inequality right now. Wealth inequality is extreme in a lot of, especially in the cryptocurrency markets. But the ability for the average person to generate extreme amounts of wealth has never been bigger than it is right now. We're not just talking about cryptocurrencies either. Everything happening with artificial intelligence right now. Go out and start a damn business, man. Make money. All the tools are there. $20 a month for ChatGPT. That can build you a business. It can code the website for you. It can help you write the ads. Everything is there for the people who want to reach out and get it. Problem is that most people don't want to reach out and get it, will never reach out and get it, which is why there's wealth inequality in the first place, because people don't put in the same amount of effort. So if you're the person who's thinking, gosh, damn, if only I had this, that, or the other thing and I could get my break, it's all there for you. Get into crypto, get into business, start using AI tools, because the ability to make money from your computer in 2025 is absolutely mind-blowing. You know, I actually started back in the late 90s selling stuff on eBay. Wildly different time to be doing stuff. I was like a teenager back then, but I was, trading Magic cards and Star Wars cards and like Warhammer figurines, really nerdy stuff, right? But making money on it because I saw, okay, I can buy them here, flip them there, make money. Okay. And so it was back in the day, you'd get the newspaper and look through, oh, there's an ad. Somebody's got an ad for the things that I want and go find them, negotiate, go back and sell it online because get a higher price for it. That was back then. If I could make money in the 90s on the internet, you can make money on 2025 on the internet because it's never been easier.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've been in business now for almost 30 years, and I recruit people for a living. I recruit and train and develop people, and I have a financial services organization with about 1,500 agents. And of course, I train people, we mentor them, we coach them, all that stuff. But what's wild is that it's the same old story every single time. It never changes. It's just that victim mentality, like, oh, poor me. And, oh, I can't do this. And, oh, it's too hard. And, oh, it's not for me. And, oh, it's, there's always another excuse for a victim. And so the truth is, and I think this is exactly what you're talking about is that there's going to always be income inequality. And if you want to not be a part of the lower class income part of the equation, you might want to start actually learning stuff and taking action and taking some risk and working on your mental toughness, working on your mindset, because at no other time in human history, think about this for a second. Right now, we could literally just on ChatGPT, just say, summarize me this, 300-page book and give me the most important ideas, and then give me an actual action plan on taking action on those ideas and tell me exactly step by step what to do. And in literally 3.7 seconds, it pops out an action plan. Never in history, in human history was that possible. You'd have to sit down, spend 3 weeks reading the book in your free time whenever you can between jobs, and then you got to figure it out on your own. At the end of the day, we live in a very, very special time. And I'm telling my agents all the time, and I just did I do a Wealth on the Beach club every Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And this morning I taught, how to really grow your social media and how to generate leads and, prospect through social media for clients and recruits and things like that. And it's just some of these people, I've been saying the same message for 2 years, and they're still with me. They're still in my coaching. They're still, but in 2 years, they have not done anything different 2 years later, they're doing their social media. I could go on their social media right now. It looks exactly the same as it did 2 years ago. They have made no improvements. And it's just really, this is the bottom line, is that, people are going to get left behind if they don't get on board. And so you seem like you know a lot about AI and you research a lot about AI. I mean, what scares you about it? What gets you excited about it? Anything?
Oh yeah, it's a very exciting thing, and it's very big in the cryptocurrency markets as well, which is a very natural fit, I think, for artificial intelligence technology. But I just want to hit you one fact before I answer the ad question: is that 80% of millionaires are self-made; they came from nothing. Okay, and that's something very important to remember. If you're out there looking like everybody else has got it so good, most millionaires came from absolute nothing and built themselves up. I grew up in total poverty in America, in the Appalachian Mountains, like a very impoverished ex-coal mining town. Okay, anybody can do it. It's just a determination that you are going to do it. Okay, so I just want to throw it out there. Okay, everybody, it's possible for you, but you have to want it, and you have to just believe that you can do it. So AI is incredible, and there is some very interesting things going on with AI. Everybody, when they talk about AI, they go, "The robots are going to kill us." Probably not. I'm sure we'll make sure that doesn't happen. At least I hope we do. I think the more problematic situation is that AI is going to cause an unemployment crisis, the likes of which we've not seen in 100 years, which could cause, ironically, a massive disruption to everything. Now, the flip side is that economically, we're probably going to be okay because human robots are going to take over all the jobs. Productivity will actually stay surprisingly high. It's just that consumers won't be able to buy anything. So it'll be a potential Great Depression 2.0 situation caused, ironically, by the very technology that's going to free us from the burdens of doing crap jobs. Now, there's a parallel for this in history. Tractors back in the late 1920s started becoming a really, really big and affordable thing. And it made it so that on fields in American, you didn't need as many people anymore. Farm jobs were the big employer. And then they weren't. And then the Great Depression came. Now, there was other factors obviously going on at the time, record greed in the stock markets and, the Dust Bowl that had happened and stuff like that. There was a lot of other things, but that was definitely part of the picture, that we had a lot of people losing their jobs because technology got better. We didn't need as many people in the farmers anymore because the tractor could do the work of 10 people. So you only need one guy to drive the tractor and the other 9 guys got fired. AI is going to have a similar situation with leading to mass unemployment. And it's not going to be mass unemployment from the AI side specifically of blue collar guys. That's going to be the robotics that take them out. But content creators, lawyers, doctors, accountants, a lot marketing managers, a lot of white collar jobs are definitively going to be wiped out. Now, it doesn't mean that computers do 100% of everything. You're going to have one guy in the office doing the work of 10 people because he's got the AI to help him now. And that's going to be the same sort of tractor analogy. You don't need as many people on the marketing farm anymore because you can do a lot more work with just one person.
Right.
And then the blue collar jobs, the human robots come for those. So the Tesla robot, the OpenAI robots, those things are going to take over from builders, electricians, plumbers, taxi drivers. Well, I guess the car's going to drive themselves, but you get the idea. All these things are sort of coming. So that's one side of the equation. The other side of the equation is that artificial intelligence is the most important thing ever to happen in our lifetimes. And the internet was big, and I was on the internet early in the 90s. Okay. I was young. At 12, 11, on the internet and doing stuff, getting involved. This is more important than that. This is more important than the advent of the internet itself, because it's going to fundamentally reshape everything that we know about economics and the way the world works in a way that's hard for us to truly grasp right now because we're not fully in it yet. We're at the just cusp of it happening. You ever see that sort of adoption, the hockey stick thing? We're right down here right now. We're about to do this over the next 5 to 10 years. It's going to be absolute insanity. Now, the very exciting part about it is if you are well positioned by making the right investments, whether it be in cryptocurrencies, artificial intelligence related cryptocurrencies, artificial intelligence stocks, quantum computer stocks, tech stocks more broadly, there's a massive opportunity. The commodities that are going to be needed for all these robots, your gold, your silver, your rare earth metals, the miners of those, all that kind of stuff, massive, massive, massive economic opportunity here for investing. Okay, so that's one thing. And the other thing is that because of what we were just talking about a minute ago, the artificial intelligence tools that are out there right now, there are so many opportunities for people to come out and make money. And of course, we start going down the rabbit hole of what AI can offer. We talk about curing diseases and solving issues of the environment, all these really big problems, curing cancer, all this kind of stuff will be easier done with these supercomputers and super intelligences that we are building. It's going to be a very, very exciting time, but a very uncertain time because of so many new things that get introduced.
Well, there's just such a huge population that doesn't understand it. Number one, they're afraid of it. Like for example, I mean, I own 4 Teslas. Okay. I've been driving Tesla since 2018 and I love Tesla. I love Tesla stock. I love Tesla cars. You know, I'm a big fan of Elon Musk. And the truth is, people are still afraid. I tell people about my automatic pilot because my automatic driving, I mean, I literally everywhere I drive, 98% of the time it's on autopilot. I very rarely touch my steering wheel. And people look at me like I'm crazy. Exactly. They look at me like I'm absolutely nuts. They're like, are you crazy?
Yeah, I think crazy cool, by the way. Crazy cool.
Yeah, crazy cool. Yeah, I but they think I'm crazy.
I own a Tesla. I've got a Model X.
Exactly. Yeah. Plus I'm driving the Plaid, which is the fastest, production car at least in the United States. Maybe even in the world, but no, but they look at me like I'm crazy. And this is the interesting thing. And I don't know why my brain works like this, but I think about it in terms of, okay, is the car really unsafe? And the answer is no, because it's got 8 cameras around the car. I believe it's like 8 cameras or something like that. So instead of my 2 eyeballs all by myself, which there's going to be a possibility that somebody might call me on my phone, or I might have to look at my phone, or I might have to look away for a quick second or whatever. This is how accidents happen, by the way, right? Is when you look away real quickly, or you have to grab something, or something falls, or, whatever, you get distracted, which is
somebody's in your blind spot.
Or there's a blind spot or something like that. This is a normal thing. This is going to be the elimination. So I even think about like auto detailers and auto repair shops are going to be gone eventually because nobody's going to be crashing, or at least not in the levels of accidents that are happening now. If everybody had a Tesla, then nobody would crash, because I was even backing up the other day just in my driveway, and it literally slammed on the brakes. I wasn't going to hit anything, but it thought I was going to hit something, and it slammed on the brakes. So I didn't hit it. And I'm just thinking, you know what? And I loved it. I was so excited. And, and think about it. With all of these eyeballs, they're constantly looking around going, don't crash there. Don't hit that. Don't hit that. Do this, do that. It's like this amazing supercomputer that is driving my car that is way smarter than me or you, way faster than the reaction time is way faster than my reaction time or your reaction time. So so people think I'm crazy, but they don't understand that I'm actually probably the safest driver on the road. And so I don't know.
Absolutely.
That's AI for you right there.
It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. They're incredible cars. I totally agree. And it's going to be just a safer world. The implications of everything being built are wildly exciting. And that's a great story. I actually had something similar happen recently. We were driving and some car cut us off, and the Tesla beat me to the brake. I was pushing. I was like, where'd the brake go? We already stopped. Okay. It's just so fast. The reaction is incredible. So definitely really, really cool technology, and the future is wildly exciting. This is the thing I just want to hit home. Don't be scared of the Skynet Terminator stuff. Be excited about the self-driving cars, guys. We're finally getting it. Be excited about the humanoid robots. They're going to do your dishes for you. Okay.
Exactly. And think about the hell. The flying cars are coming. Like everything. I was watching the Jetsons the other day, and I actually specifically turned it on. I think you could watch it on, I think it's Max or something like that. They have every episode of the Jetsons, and I was watching just out of curiosity, going, everything that these guys predicted was going to happen is happening right now. And this was like in the 60s that this cartoon came out. Every single thing. I mean, the opening the doors, the robots, the talking on Zoom. Imagine, we're doing exactly what the Jetsons were doing right now. We're doing it. We're
halfway across the road from each other. We're literally
you're in Dubai.
12 time zones away. It's crazy.
Yeah. And we're not even having to pay like a surcharge for long distance calling or anything. Imagine we would never call somebody back when we were little. You would never call somebody in Dubai, right? You'd never have a friend in Dubai because you'd never want to spend.
You might not even call somebody in the next county because it's going to be a long distance call.
Exactly. And so what a great world we're living in right now. What an exciting time. I'm just as excited as you are. I do have a question though. Why do you think Elon Musk loves Dogecoin so much? And do you ever think that Dogecoin could be a method of payment like he says, or is it just crazy?
I think to an extent, Elon's just a bit of an agent of chaos. He likes doing cool things to be cool. And whether that's, Dogecoin or playing Diablo or whatever, it's just part of the Elon persona. Now, you do have to give him credit. He did buy Bitcoin for his companies. So SpaceX and Tesla both have Bitcoin on the balance sheet, which is very, very interesting. They don't have Dogecoin on the balance sheet, but there is code actually still in the Tesla website to allow for purchasing Teslas with Dogecoin. It's just that it hasn't happened yet. It hasn't been activated yet. Now, maybe with the thawing of crypto regulations in the United States, maybe we'll see Tesla finally taking Bitcoin and Dogecoin for cars again. Dogecoin is actually a really funny one because a lot of these new meme coins coming out have absolutely nothing behind them. Dogecoin is slightly different. Dogecoin is actually its own blockchain, which not many people know. Okay, it's not like a lot of these new tokens that come out that are just kind of on top of Ethereum or on top of Solana. Dogecoin's its own blockchain. It's the most important coin of that particular mining algorithm. And it's actually something called merge mining. So there's another coin called Litecoin, and Dogecoin's actually mined on top of that. So it's actually a very, very secure network, which is very interesting. Very interesting. Not a lot of people know that, but it's its own blockchain. It's a very secure blockchain. And even though it has infinite inflation, it could, in theory, be used as some kind of, means of exchange. Why not? I mean, people definitely buy stuff with Dogecoin already. It's just not a lot of places. It's not the most accepted cryptocurrency by far. If you talk about actually buying stuff with cryptocurrencies, you can use Bitcoin in most places, and then it very quickly goes down the charts in terms of what gets accepted. But maybe some Ethereum or Solana or a couple other coins might be accepted by people who accept cryptocurrency payments. But I think we're going to see a big uptick in cryptocurrency payments more broadly. You'll probably be able to pay with a pretty big basket of crypto coins, and Dogecoin will probably end up being one of those.
And Bitcoin, isn't Bitcoin though? I mean, ultimately, won't it just be kind of like a gold, a storage of value? Because I mean, isn't it like too slow and doesn't take up a lot of energy to even process payments and things like that?
For sure. Bitcoin's slow, especially if you're using the main chain. There's actually payment networks called the Lightning Network that's been built on top of Bitcoin that allows you to send smaller amounts of Bitcoin. Like if you want to buy a coffee or send somebody a tip, that's the way to do it. You don't use the main Bitcoin chain itself. If you want to send somebody $100,000, you use the main Bitcoin chain because that's literally the most secure computer network in the world right now. So Bitcoin, the main network, cost a few dollars to send a transaction. But here's the thing. If you're sending money abroad, and I have to send money back and forth between countries quite frequently, the actual process of sending money from country A to country B is still in the dark ages. You've got to send, it costs $10-20 and you send the money, it takes 3 days to get there. The bank on the other end, half the time, what are you sending this money for? Get a bunch of questions. They hold it up. I had a payment that was held up it was a big sum of money too. It was held up for like 6 weeks. I didn't even know what it was. And eventually the intermediary bank, because it's like, drive-by banking, there's a bank in the middle, they're taking a fee, but they actually hold up the payment and say, well, hey, actually, we're going to hold this payment up because we need to know about it. And we didn't actually tell you for 4 weeks when we didn't do anything about it. But now we're going to ask you some questions about it. And it's going to take us 2 weeks to get back to you once you answer us. It's a ridiculous system. Whereas Bitcoin, boom. Within an hour, your payment has totally confirmed and you can spend that money. Now,
what's the cost? What's the cost to do that? Like, what are the fees to do that?
To send a Bitcoin transaction?
Yeah.
Right now, you probably spend about $2 to send a Bitcoin. And that's whether you send $2 worth of Bitcoin or $2 billion worth of Bitcoin. It's going to cost about $2. Okay. Wow. So now, obviously, you need to convert it on the other end. Conversions can range anywhere from, if you're using a not very good exchange, around maybe 0.5% to 1%. And if you're using a good cryptocurrency exchange, maybe 0.1% fee to transfer that Bitcoin into your local fiat currency. So depends on where you are, what country you're in, what's available to you. But for most people listening, it's probably gonna be like 0.1 to 0.2% fee to convert back to a fiat currency.
And do you invest into any stocks at all? Like, are you in the market at all? Like,
Yeah, absolutely. I love stocks. Stocks are great. It's one of the things that I take money out of the cryptocurrency market and dump it into stocks and gold and stuff like that. Recently I had to sell my gold, but I'll rebuy here in Dubai. Sold it back in New Zealand. I had it sitting in a vault and I thought, don't need it sitting in the vault anymore over there. I can just have it here.
So is your main form of like cash flow income trading? Is that kind of how you've built your net worth?
For sure. So few different things. So obviously the crypto content creation thing, it's a business, right? So there's a lot of different ways that makes money. It's ad revenue on YouTube, which can be pretty substantial. It's selling our own newsletter products. So we have a free newsletter, but we also have a premium version to that newsletter, which sort of goes much more in depth and has like weekly, in-depth reviews and tutorials and all these kind of things. We've got affiliate marketing that we do as well, but a lot of the money does come from just investing and trading and stuff like that. So all that stuff provides a regular cash income, right? So no matter what's going on up or down the markets, regular cash income's coming in from all those things just mentioned. And then the rest of it, it's getting in early on Fartcoin, and I didn't get in super early on Fartcoin actually, but we made some money on Fartcoin. Yeah, or getting in on other stuff and trading and finding trends and the actual cryptocurrency portfolio. It's pretty substantial in size and it makes decent amounts of money, let's say. And in the end, it ends up making much more money than the other activities, but the other activities are a nice way to keep constant cash coming in without having to sell off crypto.
Yeah, exactly. And like I'm saying, probably a lot of the Bitcoin you don't want to sell, you don't want to get rid of. I mean, because that's your long-term store of value, right? I mean, is that
exactly?
Okay,
exactly. So my going back to what I said earlier, my thought is that by the end of 2025, I'll have nothing but Bitcoin and some USDC stable coins left. All the other coins will be sold for cash, and I'll move that out into stocks. Different stuff. I like dividend stocks. Most of my stocks are based actually Australia, New Zealand stocks. Being a New Zealander, it's kind of made sense at the time, and I might buy some stocks here, be a little more US stocks. But there's some really great dividend stocks in Australia and New Zealand. Great banking stocks, great mining stocks, some pretty cool tech stocks pay like good dividends. So I like those dividend stocks. They're kind of boring. The banking stocks, the gold mining stocks, stuff like this. But I kind of like boring. I have so much risk in the rest of what I do. I like kind of the boring stocks. I like the index funds, different Indian index funds or US index funds or whatever it might be. Just it's nice to have that bit of safer diversity in my portfolio.
Do people in Dubai, do they like Donald Trump?
I think, especially in the crypto community, everybody's pretty excited about Donald Trump because he's delivering so much pro-crypto stuff into the market. But I think, generally positive attitude towards Donald Trump here from what I've seen.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, I mean, there's no question. I mean, probably a big chunk of crypto investors voted for Donald Trump because they knew what he was going to do. I mean, this guy, I mean, he's one day in office. I mean, 3 months before he got in office, he was doing some stuff. So yeah, it's a very exciting time to see what's going to happen in the future of America too. So,
it's pretty. I just want to say real quick, it's actually pretty wild because he went from the Biden administration, which was basically the most hostile administration almost anywhere in the world, on par with what China was doing in terms of trying to literally kill the cryptocurrency industry, suing the biggest, squeakiest clean players in the industry, people like Coinbase, taking them to court and dragging them through court and making them spend all this time and energy and money over frivolous things. There was something called Operation Choke Point 2.0. So the cannabis industry is Operation Choke Point 1.0, where they basically squeezed the banks to make sure that the industry couldn't get any sort of banking access. The Biden administration did the exact same thing with crypto, making sure that they cut off crypto companies and crypto investors, famous crypto investors in the United States, from the banks so that they couldn't get their money out to the markets and stuff like this. And they even took down some of the crypto banks, right? When the banking collapse happened, one of the banks wasn't even insolvent or anything. They just killed it on a Sunday afternoon because they could, because it was a crypto bank and they didn't like it and they wanted to take it down. Take that versus now. The president literally launched a meme coin. He's talking about launching a strategic reserve for Bitcoin. The new SEC is everybody's pro crypto. The new CFTC chair, pro crypto. New SEC chair, pro crypto. New Treasury secretary, pro crypto. The vice president owns Bitcoin. The president owns Bitcoin and Ethereum and has sold NFTs as a meme coin. Night and day change. It's going to be wild.
Yeah, no, it's a fun time. And look, I just think whether people invest in stocks or they invest in mutual funds, I mean, I help manage, as far as my clients, we have almost $500 million in assets under management. And so, of course, that's a lot of mutual funds, a lot of managed accounts, a lot of annuities, a lot of, those type of investments. And so whether people are investing into that or they're investing in crypto, because I believe what's going to happen with all these ETFs coming out, a lot of the mutual fund companies, they're going to have crypto inside of their portfolios, and some of them already do. So what's going to happen in the future is there's going to definitely be a combining of crypto portfolios with your traditional S&P 500 stock companies. There's going to be a lot of that happen. It's already starting to happen, but I think that's going to be the future. And so whether people invest in that or they invest into crypto, I just think people need to invest and they need to start something. They need to try something. They need to go get your newsletter and get the information, or contact me and get the information, and let's, have some conversations, because I think a lot of people are going to get left behind. And so, so they don't get left behind. I want you to kind of close us out here and just tell me, how do we contact you? How do people connect with you? How do we, start building a relationship with you so that we can get the education that we need, especially when it comes to crypto, and use it to our advantage. So, we can get rich too.
Yeah, I would say just one thing before I let you guys know where to find me is that if you're somebody who's time poor and you've been looking at crypto, you're excited about what's going on there, but you don't really know enough about it, just stick to a couple of top coins. Learn about Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, XRP. That's probably enough. You can get some of those ETFs and you're probably going to be honestly ahead of most people who are just grinding all the time in this market anyway. Just keep it really simple, okay? Even just Bitcoin, because right now the world's biggest Bitcoin shill, let's say, beyond Donald Trump, is Larry Fink of BlackRock, who literally yesterday said he thinks it's going to $700,000. Larry Fink of BlackRock. Okay, so there's probably something there, probably worth paying attention to. If Larry Fink and most of the world's top billionaires who own Bitcoin, and most of the world's most famous investors, Ray Dalio, Stan Druckenmiller, Paul Tudor Jones, they're all Bitcoin bulls. If those people are bullish on Bitcoin, it's probably something worth looking at there. In terms of finding me, come find me over on X, Lark Davis, official account. Okay, make sure we've got the tick. There's a lot of impersonator accounts. Find me on YouTube as well, Lark Davis, and you can check out the newsletter at thewealthmastery.io. It's a free newsletter. Lots of information in there.
You're a badass, man. This was a great conversation, and just look forward to maybe doing it again someday. And maybe we'll check back in next year and see all the things that you sold or you didn't sell. See if anything changed, or if you changed your mind on any of these ideas in the coming months. Because look, I mean, the market changes. I mean, there's different regulations, there's different ideas that come out every single day. And so I implore everybody to, keep your mind open. Look, I know some of this stuff is scary. I know that it's weird and it's different and it's not normal. It's not the way we've always done things. But you know what? Just looking at my situation, I mean, I got wealthy simply because I took a chance. I said yes to something that wasn't normal. Most people don't quit college and, start their own business, and I did. And it worked. And I think that because I had an open mind and I believed in something bigger and I took a chance, you open yourself up for lots of big opportunities and big, money making opportunities. So with that said, everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. Make sure that you check out my book on Amazon, Wealth on the, and then also check out the podcast. We're on YouTube and we're on iTunes and Spotify. And of course, if you ever want to get a hold of me, at Daniel Alonzo, Instagram, DM me every single day. I check my DMs and I answer myself. With that said, continue to dream bigger than ever. Get after it. But most importantly, do it now. God bless you. See you at the top.